ببكة مباركا.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Anyhow, my name is Ibrahim Smith. I am sending this message out to the young people on Hijrah. And of course, a lot of you out there on Hijrah, if you want to call it that, is not from your own doing. Of course, the parents, like myself, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I left the States with back in 1993 with our then 8-month-old daughter, my wife and I, previous wife. That was a long time ago. She was 8 months old, and so she is now about 34. So she was raised here in Saudi Arabia, where, alhamdulillah, beautiful country, mashallah. But parents have to realize that although we may have an intention to do Hijrah, and I encourage everybody, do your due diligence when it comes to Hijrah. Is it wajib for you? Is it mustahab for you, recommended, but not wajib? Talk to the people of knowledge. Fasulu ahla dhikri. Find out. Don't fall into like just listening to people. Everybody has an opinion about something, and then people have a particular method or a particular opinion, and they're just going to push that particular opinion instead of doing justice to the ilm, which is to find out what the people of knowledge have to say about it, and particularly the people of fiqh. The people of fiqh, Sharia, who are grounded in fiqh. And so anyhow, people have to do that on their own, something I didn't really do back in the day. I took one particular opinion that was being fed to us at that time, and I wound up leaving and with our 8-month-old daughter. And there was a lot of things that go on when you leave and you come to a different country and it's a different culture and the whole nine. So those same supports, those programs that maybe you're used to having for your family back home, if you're from a Western country, then you may not necessarily have those same things when you leave. I mean, now, alhamdulillah, fast forward to 2026, there are a lot of changes and a lot of things you can do. And a lot more parents, I think, are doing homeschooling if they have the ability to do that. But young people, too, they may not necessarily want to be here. So, and then because when they grow up in a country that's not their own, their opportunities for them are very limited. So they see their friends, for example, who are citizens, being able to participate in certain things in the society that they're not able to participate in because they're not citizens. And I don't blame the country for that. No, because this is not, they didn't tell you to come here. They didn't tell us to come here. No, we made an intention to come to a Muslim majority country to improve our religion, I guess, right? And, but once again, raising your kids here, a lot of challenges. If they're very young, like the wife, does she work? Okay, if she works, who's going to take care of the kids? Anyhow, I just want to send a little short message on that. This thing keeps saying this device will go off screen. I don't know why that is. Yeah. So anyhow, I just want to be a resource for folks. I'm not an expert. I did not do an excellent job raising my kids. Did I do the best I could? I guess for that particular time. And one of the things I don't like people to do is, oh, you did a great job. Come on, man. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I don't really roll like that. People kind of know what they did, what they didn't do. Or in retrospect, maybe things could have been better. But you live and you learn, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, so you don't fall into the same trap. Or at least maybe I can give some advice to other people who are trying. And there are families who raise their kids here. They raise their kids. Their kids are still here in their 30s, 34, 35, got married, not necessarily from the citizens here, but got married, have their own kids. So those brothers have grandchildren now. Their future, Allah alam, I don't know. Because still you cannot participate in every aspect of the society because the government, they are responsible for taking care first and foremost of their own citizens, and they do an admirable job, mashallah, barakallah, doing that, and that's their responsibility. The leadership of each country should take care of their citizens first and foremost, not somebody coming here illegally. And I never heard of that. You can live in somebody's country illegally as an illegal immigrant. That's kind of whacked. But anyhow, up to the country, not my place to judge a country like that. But certainly, country like Saudi Arabia, you have to be legal. You can come here to work. You can come here to visit. You can come like tourism. They don't have a category called Hijrah, like a muhajir category. So that's just on your niyyah. But you are a worker here. You come here to work. So you have to have a work permit. You have to work for a company, have a sponsor, a kafil. No, they have not eliminated the kafil system. Still have the kafil system. They just made it easier for you to transfer from one kafil to another. Unless you come here as an investor and you need a lot of money for that. Anyhow, just want to say that just because we make quote unquote hijrah, it doesn't mean that our children are interested in that once they get to an age where they are able to, become young adults. Also, you have to realize that when you leave your country, just say the United States, in our case, for example, my case, I'm from the United States, you're still a U.S. citizen. You're not a part of this society. You can't give bay'ah or anything like that. It doesn't work like that. You are still a United States citizen. So if something goes down, your embassy has to get involved, right? And your kids can actually contact the embassy and emancipate themselves because you still fall under, once you reach the consulate, now that is considered U.S. territory. You no longer fall under. And also the country, the host country, in this case, Saudi, they're going to refer you. I mean, if it's a legal issue, of course, you're going to have to deal with the courts here. But in the event that there's a prison situation going on, jail, I was a warden for the consulate for quite some time. And I used to visit American citizens who were in prison and who broke the law. They broke the law and they went to jail. And the U.S. consulate, now that falls under their responsibility. Some cases they can get you out. It depends on what you did. Anyhow, it's another story, man. So many stories. Like I said, since 93 until 2026. Alhamdulillah. Now retired, trying to be here, living in the blessed city of Mecca as best I can. And once again, 64 years old, you're going to deal with Social Security issues. Investment, do you have, even if you have to go back, do you have money now to even go back, to repatriate back to your country? But because remember, unless you're contributing to your Social Security back home, unless you work for a U.S. company, you're not contributing. To contribute. Now I've heard some people say, "Oh, you can contribute out." I haven't come across that. I could be wrong, but I haven't come across that. Meaning, if you work for a non-U.S. company, you can still contribute privately into your Social Security. I think they're getting that mixed up with a 401k, some kind of private pension plan, but certainly not any government scheme like Social Security is government. Social Security, got to have a Social Security number, and every time you get paid, since we were working, every time you work and you get paid, they take a percentage out of your check and they put it in your Social Security. All right. And that is for later on when you're able to collect later. And I'm not sure. I think they even raised the age on that. I'm not too sure. It was the earliest you could collect was 62. Right. And there's a penalty because you're not at full retirement age, which I think they changed again. Do your due diligence. Know before you go. Find out. Really, do your research, man. Find out. Schools for your kids, activities for kids. Also, in this part of the world, now we're from the States, we play football. We play basketball. Some of us play baseball. But what I'm trying to say is they don't have those same kind of sports over here. Now, they do have basketball, but it's not like a major sport. You know, soccer, what we call soccer, which they call football over here, that's their main sport. So my kids grew up playing soccer. Now, when they repatriated, lack of opportunities, when they went back, when they went to the States, that's a whole nother issue. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Because remember, they've been out of they weren't raised in the country of their forefathers. You know, in our case, USA, father, grandfather, great-great-grandfather, all of those folks, you know, the indigenous folks coming through, they were not raised there, and they may be a bit estranged. You know, so when they go back, cultural adjustment issues. But anyhow, I like an opportunity. Anyone needs, if you need my help with anything, any kind of advice I can give, even for the young people, always stay connected to your parents. Just something to see how for the youth. Stay connected to your parents and your family. Do not go rogue in a foreign country. Do not do that. Stay obedient to your parents. You know, stay close. A lot of times experiences like this make the family a little bit closer, and sometimes not. All right, just want to put that little message out, inshallah, and I'll be probably posting some more stuff up regarding Social Security, taxes. I'm not a tax expert, but I do know when you live overseas or you don't live overseas, you have to file. Even if you're tax exempt, you have the foreign income tax exclusion, you're still supposed to file. And that's up to you. One brother told me the other day, oh, what about these other guys? They got these hidden bank accounts. That's on them, bro. If you want to do that, that's on you. I'm just saying, for me, I like to cover myself. You know what I mean? You come to a country, just obey the rules, man, as best you can. Avoid getting into problems. We're still United States citizens. You haven't given up your citizenship. You're still a U.S. citizen, but you live overseas. And don't live in a fantasy land. According to the government, when you leave your country and I ain't talking about no back to Africa thing. Oh, brother, come. No, I'm talking about when you leave and you come to a place like this, you are a foreigner. I don't care what you call. No, muhajir. No problem, brother. Call yourself whatever you want. But in hakikatan, in reality, you are a foreign worker. If you're working over here, you're a foreign worker. I don't care how many shayukh you sit with, you are a foreign worker, hakikatan. And if something happens, you're going to fall under that situation. You know what I mean? Then when it's time for you to leave, it's just severance pay. You're not contributing to the Social Security here. Go see. No, it doesn't work like that. Anyhow, I'm out. That's all I got. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.